Okay guys, how are you doing today? Today I'm going to be discussing about how lucky I am to be alive. I had 4 encounters where I could have lost my life, but I'm here today. Because of the grace and the mercy of God. I believe in Him and that He's always with me wherever I am. I know a lot of people often at the time look up in the sky and do this, but He's not up in the clouds. He's right with you. If you believe in Him, He's with you wherever you are. Right there. Every step you take, He's with you. Whether you know it or not. But if you do believe, you'll know that He's with you, even though you can't see Him. I'll start off and telling you with the 4 encounters that I have that I could have lost my life. But I'm here today, and because of that, I am so grateful for God for keeping me alive and didn't let me go. And those 4 separate times when I could have been gone. The first time, I was a little boy and we were playing hide and seek with my sister and my cousins. And we all would take turns in being the one to find all those who were hidden. So we had a barrel, a clothes barrel, one of those big round tall ones made out of real hard cardboard. And we were hiding, so my sister was gonna hide because I was the smallest one. And then she was gonna hide because the founder was counting down to 10, and by the end of the count of 10, they would start looking. So I was trying to get down inside of the barrel where I hid in it several times before. And it has some clothing in it, but all the way to the bottom, not a lot. So she helped me in, and I fell headway first down in the barrel. And I got bent across my stomach here, and my legs were still sticking up to the top. So I couldn't breathe. I could hardly scream for help. But luckily, with the grace of God, my aunt heard me struggling, and she came in and flipped the barrel over and take me out of it. I did get a whooping from it. I don't know why. I was scared. I thought I was gonna die at the time. I don't even know if I know to really realize what it was at the time, because I was really young. But she took me out of the barrel and she put a whooping to my behind. And I'm not mad at her for doing that. I think she was just scared that she could have lost me, and that's what she did out of her reaction. The other time, my neighbor that I grew up with, were only a few days apart. There was another kid that lived further down the road, and they always get in fights. Little kid stuff. They get in fights all the time. We're probably about 12 at the time. I don't remember. And his dad always steal electricity from the main lines that runs through the community to watch TV and whatnot. So on Monday night when MacGyver come on, we always do this to spite him. We'd go out there, me and my neighbor, and he's the one who was always come get me to go do it. And he never pulled the line down. He always had me do it while he stay out on the road and watch. And I'd go over and pull the line down, and as soon as we yank it down, we would run home. Because we know that Daddy's going to come out to come see what's wrong with you because they're watching MacGyver. And one day, what happened, and I didn't know because where the line is, it was really dark. And he peeled the line that he put over the main line. He peeled the outer part off, so it was exposed, raw wires. And when I go there and I grabbed it to yank it down, the power just hold me onto it, and I was just shaking like this, and I couldn't get loose from it. Even after I opened my hand from the wire, the electricity just hold it to the middle of my hand, and I couldn't get off it, and I was struggling backward, and I couldn't get loose from it. And I could just see when I look up all the blue flames just running across on those main service line. And somehow I break free from it, and I don't think I could have done it without the help of God. I break free, and I rushed up to the bridge, and I hugged my neighbor. At the time we were kids, we're both in the same age group, just a few days different. And we ran home. and I couldn't talk at all. I was on the porch, front porch, and I couldn't speak. There, he would move my mouth, but there was no word coming out of it. He got scared and he shouted for my aunt, and I grabbed a hold of his mouth because, you know, I know I would get a whooping for going out there and doing that. And until this day, my aunt does not know anything about that. So that's another encounter I had where I could have got killed. The next one is, one day I was at my house sleeping, probably about midnight or later, because I had to go to work the next morning. And I have a cousin that lives across the street from me, and then my brother's house is on the same lot. And his girlfriend, nephew, was living with him at the time. So my brother wasn't there. So he brought home a girl from in the city. I don't know where they met, you know, because me and him didn't talk up that much, so I don't have a clue. But anyway, he bring this girl home, and somehow they were in the house having sex. I was asleep, and they didn't hear what was going on. But somehow my neighbor was out on his front porch, which is my cousin, and he heard it. So he came and he knocked on my door and wake me up and said, "Hey, Mr. Beam," because that's what we call him. "Mr. Beam is having sex. He has a girl around there. Let's go watch." And I'm like, man, because I wake up, so I said, okay. I put some clothes on. I went and I started peeking through the hole with him. We would take turns peeking through the hole, watch him. He had the lights on in there, having sex. We were laughing as hell. So we'd run away farther from there where you couldn't hear us, and we'd go laugh out and then come back and watch. And the reason why we were laughing was just because he was having sex, because there was a female condom. Instead of he put on a condom, he put a female condom inside of her. But anyways, that's why we were laughing so hard. So then they were coming out of the house because, you know, it's in Jamaica, it's pretty warm weather. So there's an outdoor bathroom, so they were going out to take a shower. So there was, between both houses, there were some metal corrugated roofing there. So when we start walking on it, going through, it started making noise. So we're like, holy crap, he's going to see us. So there was another building in front of the house that was going up with building block, probably about 3.5 feet up. And there were rebarb sticking up out of it. So I rushed up to it and I jumped on top of it, and I was wearing sandals, and the front of my sandals buck against the rebar like this and pushed me back, and I fell face down. I got a little scratch on the concrete, but the rebar just grazed my leg like this, and it was sticking far enough up that it would have run right through my stomach and come out through my back with the force of my running and me falling over. So that was another close one that if it did go through my stomach, I know I would have probably died, more likely dead than survived, because the closest hospital is about an hour drive away. I didn't have a car at my house. The neighbor didn't have one that we could rush over and have them bring me to the hospital. We'd have to try to find a cab. By the time we find a cab, I'd probably bleed out and die. The next one, at work one day, we, I used to work in the tourist industry. We used to do river rafting and kayaking and zip lining and all that. But anyway, in a Jeep Safari. So I went across to go take the people up on the river walk up to the waterfall, and the rain fell real hard. If you didn't know anything about the rainfall in Jamaica, it does come down pretty hard. And I went across the other side of the river in kayaks, but when I go across, I didn't go straight across. It goes down like this on an angle, probably 45 degrees to where I come off. So when I came back, the river came down crazy. So if I did use the kayaks, I couldn't have come back upstream with that river current coming down. So I tied my aqua shoes, my water shoes up real tight on my foot with some strings that I find in the woods. And then I went upstream. The area that I jumped off, the bank was probably about 10 feet high. And normally during when the river is calm, that area wouldn't cover over my head. It would probably be about 4 feet high in the low tide of the river. But if it in the rainy season, it'd be a little deeper than that. But anyway, I jumped in. And when I jumped up, the force of me going down, I went down so far under that the water was over my head and my feet did not even touch the ground. So by the time I shoot back up, and I was a strong swimmer, so by the time I shoot back up from under the water, I'm already where I'm supposed to come get off the river. But one of the problem is, it wasn't like it was a straight area where the water runs down. It was coming down like this, and then it hits a rock formation and make a hell turn and go the other way. So right where it hit the rock formation, with the pressure of the current coming down, it made a circle, so the water is going in a twirl. And that's what got me. The twirl was taking me around and around in circles, and I could not get over it. Because each time I get up close enough to the step, the current pulls me back around, and it's starting to burn me out. And there was a lot of debris, bamboos and stuff coming down in the water. So I was starting to think, I'm going to die. There was an old guy up on the top that stayed there overnight as security. And he was drunk. He get drunk every evening. So I was calling him to throw me a tube so I could at least jump on it and even go downstream and get off at one of the banks. But he wasn't hearing me. He was just up there making a bunch of noise, drunk. So I keep going in circle, and I think to myself, I'm just going to give up and let it take me, because there is no way I can get out of this. I was very scared at the time. I thought I was going to die. And everything flashed in front of me. I had a girlfriend at the time. She flashed in front of my eyes. My aunt, my nephews, my brother, my uncle that raised me, every one of them just flashed in front of me. And I said, no, I cannot give up and let this water take me. I have to fight and get out. Even if I'm not going to do it for me, I have to do it for my loved one who's going to go through hell when I get drowned. And it'd probably take them a few days to find me, because, you know, the current would take me probably down to the ocean. I'd probably get hooked up somewhere. But anyway, I let the current take me around again, and when it comes to where that other part where it's like a wave that is higher that I can't get over, that always pushed me back around, I just go up in the air and I swim right over it, and I grab on to the stair rail that comes down, and I got out. And when I got out, I screamed with anger, because, you know, the water got the best of me. But I wound up get out of it because of my swimming skill, and I started to think, brainstorm. And I think the reason for that too, that God was there with me, guiding me and telling me not to give up. You know, and he's always there for you, man. Whenever you need him the most, that's when he's always going to show up. You know, he might not come right away when you call, but he knows the right time to come. He wants you to try on your own to see if you can make it without him giving you that extra push before you need it. So yeah, that's my story, man.